5 right of a
You got the
jump.
PB, now you gotta let the
40.
vibes be jelly fun. That's right.
Very long, tightens 3 of a dip.
That is right.
Open 6 long.
Resident
of a
jelly
crest,
enjoyer
into 1
Quasi
left.
loves his jams. I'm not kidding you.
50
That
of a
man,
crest.
like every time I was talking about a dessert with
6
him,
right.
he's
6
like,
left
oh
of a
yeah,
crest,
just put a little
40.
jam on there too. Like
5 left
everything
of a
though.
crest,
Like it was
50. 6 left of a crest, and up.
my boy loves
80.
his jam, okay? And I was never such a jam guy,
Crest and 4 right.
but
Opens 60.
recently, because I was kind of talking to him and he's like, oh yeah, just have like a jam sandwich. And I was like, never in my life have I been keen on just jam and bread.
3 right long of a crest.
And I was like, actually, you know what? With a good amount of butter, like a generous amount of butter, I would enjoy that. I do enjoy my fats
6
quite a
long
lot.
of a crest.
And he was like, yeah, it's like the only 2 things on the sandwich. Just go nuts with the butter. And I was like, okay, bet. You know what? I'm going to give that an honest try.
30. 5 left long of a crest. Opens 30. 6 left of a crest. 40. Keep right
And guess
of a
what?
double crest into 4 left. Tightens.
It sounds like I just enjoy butter. Well, the thing is,
130.
that's absolutely true. But instead of letting the jam be the star of the show, I let the butter be the star of the show, and the jam is the coup de grace. And you know what? I'm so on Quasi's level now that it hurts. Okay. Oh, I thought I could at least save the people. I've heard of peeps doing that with ketchup. Oh, no. Oh, why would you say that out loud? Zomnom, that's so cursed. That's so cursed. No.
60.
I don't even know if I can finish this race. That's hijacking my brain. I can't with that. Oh, that's making me nauseated. Okay, hold on. Let's pull to the side here and recoup. That's too much. I did some apricot jam glazed chicken recently. It was surprisingly good. That sounds freaking epic. Oh, hold on. Let me get the cursed ketchup butter sandwich out of my system. That's too much. Oh, I got the jitters. I do not like that. Oh my goodness. No, it's too early. It's still too much. I'm still whelmed. I'm so whelmed by that idea. I think it's taking me right back to when my nephew not ordered. I was cooking for my nephew. He was a lot younger. He was like 4 or 5, something like that. And I'm kind of just watching him. This was around COVID times, and I'm like, hey buddy, it's lunchtime. What do you want? I'm going to make you a sandwich because we don't have a lot of time today. And he was like, okay. So I threw down some bread. I'm like, what do you want, champ? And that was my first mistake. Letting the 5-year-old choose the sandwich ingredients was just... I see my mistake now that I'm looking back on it. Just mayo between bread. Honestly, I could see that functioning. Hold on, let me hit you with my nephew's perfect sandwich here, alright? He goes, I want ketchup. I'm like, okay, that's normal. Kids like ketchup. It's sweet and sour. It's kind of got an interesting profile, you know. Ketchup's a normal condiment. And he goes, cheese. And I'm like, okay, ketchup and cheese. He's got some fats in there. That you're still not pushing it like... I would like a little meat in there, personally, if we got the ketchup-cheese combo, just kind of round out the flavors. And then he goes, pickles. And I'm like, okay, he's cooking now. He's cooking. So now it's like, yeah, you throw some ham or something on there, you got a proper sandwich. And I sit there waiting for the next sandwich ingredient, and it never comes. I'm just like, hey, buddy. Hey, man, what else do you want on this sandwich? He's like, no, that's it. That's the sandwich. That's what I want. I'm like, okay, so to clarify, man, you've got cheese, ketchup, and pickle. And he's like, yes. I'm like, okay, man. I'm like, all right, so here's what's going to happen. I'll make you another one if you don't like it, but I'll make you this first one. And I sit him down at the table, give him his sandwich, and I'm ready for him to be like, nah, give me like a proper sandwich. And I'm already trying to like spitball some ideas that I could salvage the current sandwich with some meat or something. He demolishes that sandwich. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm in disbelief the whole time. I'm like, what the what is he eating? Make it stop. It was like after the first couple of bites, I'm still confident he's going to tap, and he's not, and he's like happy, and I'm like starting to get distressed. And I'm like, oh no. Oh no, he likes it. Needs peanut butter. So then he eats the whole thing, and I'm like, okay, I'm still rattled. And then he goes, okay, can I have another one? I was like, another of the exact same thing. He goes, yeah. I'm like, jeepers. Yeah, I guess that's his cursed. That just feels the same amount of cursed as ketchup butter sandwich. Needs peanut butter. Oh my god. Ronald, please.
Into 5 left. Into 5 right of a crest. Into don't cut 6 left. And 5 right. Opens of a crest at 50.
Sorry, we had to stop at the side of the road there because of the butter ketchup sandwich. It was too cursed. I had to get it. I had to vibe it out of my system with the nephew story.
100. 4 left.
But yeah, butter jam sandwich on toast. That's actually where it's at.
4 left of a crest.
Pretty good little snack.
Opens long. 150.
I was never one for a jam snack. Oh, we're wide? We're okay.
4 right. Into 4 left.
Not where I was expecting it to go. Yeah, like, don't get me wrong, it's a slightly more normal sandwich than I think maybe you were expecting, but it still just gives me it's so cursed in my mind. And maybe it's less about the sandwich and more about the roller coaster ride I went on, because again, I was so confident he would dislike this.
Into 5 left of a crest.
You know?
Into 4 right.
I was so sure he would change his mind and see the light.
Opens of a crest at 40.
It just never happened. And
40 over finish.
obviously I'm still rattled to this day about it.
4 left to stop. Well done.
Some food PST. PTSD. You live those horrors. Yeah, that's a fun one. I love cooking for my nephew though. He entertains me so much. He really likes my cooking. My biggest win with him is it's almost this game we play. Because, you know, he'll tell me he doesn't like XYZ, or his parents will say, oh, he hates... So the famous example is onions. This was not the loggy map I was looking for, so let's go back to menu. But the famous one is onions. So he doesn't like onions, right? Hates onions. It's this whole thing. And don't get me wrong, he hates onions like a child hates onions. Like, if you sneak it into something he doesn't know, you make sure you control a little bit for the texture, he'll still eat it. He doesn't know the difference. He's just trying to establish a personality, you know what I mean? He's just trying to be people. So, but yeah, so they'll tell me no onions, but this is again back in COVID when I was watching them. And, okay, hold on, where's Scotland? There he is. Oh my god, that's fast. That's like 4th and 5th gear most of the way through there, South Morningside. Okay, we'll check it out. But yeah, okay, where am I? Right, so he doesn't like onions. So I'm like, okay, well, he doesn't like onions because he's never had, like... Not that his parents aren't good cooks, they're stellar. They have their specialties, they've got great recipes. But yeah, the way they do onions often is not, because they're a younger family, a lot of stuff is like, you know, we want to be able to make it fast and, you know, not slow down the pace too much. But I am just a slow individual, and so spending an hour cooking something is just really, more than an hour cooking something is just not. What, the Sigma? Is that Zomnom? Oh, yeah. Oh, I was so proud of myself for sneaking that in. I banked that for weeks and dropped it at the party just for Zomnom. The Rizzler himself, Will Sleeps Not. It is. The Spider-Man meme is happening in my chat. Without the implications of the copy-paste. Okay, what am I? Where am I? Right. Okay. So nephew doesn't like onions. So while I'm watching him, I'm scheming. I'm like, what can I make? What's got onions in it that'll like either confuse his little child brain into making him like them, and why? And eventually I land. I'm going, okay, if we're gonna make him like onions, it's got to be caramelized onions. My boy likes the sweets. Okay, so we're gonna caramelize the ever-living hex out of some onions. It was absolute gold beans. It felt like the stars aligned for that moment. No. That one was planned, okay? That wasn't my best cook. My best cook was when you pointed at your One Direction shirt. And through a miracle, I did in fact remember the lyrics to the pop song they played every day, 4 or 5 times a day, while I was working at my No Frills job way back when. And managed to drop a good line with the One Direction. That was the moment I peaked, if I'm being absolutely honest. But the What the Sigma, that was, yeah, that one was in the chamber all night, and I was just waiting for it. I couldn't wait. I was chomping at the bit all night. Okay, so yeah, let's get racing here. Just a leisurely pace. For the fans at home, I don't want to get too distracted talking, but I am going to continue. I'm going to continue my leisurely pace in my nephew's story. So he likes, so I'm thinking, yeah, I got to caramelize these onions because my boy likes the sweets, right? And then I'm thinking, what else does he like? He likes garlic bread and spaghetti for the most part. Firing from the hip with gold. I have my moments, you know? I already told you about peaking with limp shift skit. Okay, there's this tragedy, chat. I'm gonna get distracted again. We're going on a second tangent, but there really is. There are these moments in life where, honest to God, I peak. You know what I mean? Where I just have a clever inspiration for some wordplay or a good joke or something, and I send it, and then it's like you see that, and it hits, and you get the genuine, like, uncontrollable laugh from somebody. That I live for that experience, but here's the thing, that's rare, okay? That's a gem in your life. You get that only sometimes. And when I hit my boy Will with the limp shift skit, I knew I had peaked again for the second time. I remember my first peak fondly, where I told a joke and I was like, I'm just never going to be funnier than that. I actually had to resign myself very early, knowing that I'll never have a funnier joke than one I told in college. And it's distressing to live with that kind of burden, knowing that you're never going to be that kind of funny again. But somehow I managed to peak a second time. Somehow we got there. But when I was just thinking about it at the party this weekend, and I was like, oh, I peaked again. And I was like, it's going to be years. And I'm thinking it's going to be a handful of years before I'm that funny again. But it was actually, I was thinking about it, and it was actually 16 years since the last time I peaked. So if we're going to keep current trends, I'm not going to be that funny again for over a decade. And it's tragic. My soul is wilting a little bit inside, knowing that. Like, you want to talk about a cognito hazard, that's it right there. Just saved my turn with the throttle there, that was pretty nice. Firing from the hip. I'm also 90% sure I mentioned this, but I also got hit with that song constantly when I worked at No Frills. Yeah, I remember, we trauma bonded. Trauma bonded a little bit about the top 40 No Frills song selection. We're now soul bonded, connected through the No Frills top 40 playlist of an era. Not like a dwarf that crafts their best weapon to live knowing that was their best. Yeah, that's sort of where that concept came from. Shout out to the Forgotten Realms. I know Salvatore's a bit of a cookie cutter, a rapid writer, but I enjoyed some of Salvatore's work as a fantasy enjoyer. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm referring to, is like the dwarves, they all know that they're gonna, at one day, forge their best weapon, and that's it. They're never gonna have another one similar. That's how these jokes felt in my life, okay? Like, I cooked it so hard, and it came out so peak. that I thought I was done.
Into 3
I
left.
thought I was done for the
Over
rest
small
of my
crest,
life. There's
opens
no shot
extra long,
I outdo that one.
170. 6 right
Fortunately
of the crest,
for me,
70.
in the first
6
instance,
left of a small crest,
I
opens long,
underestimated
right,
myself,
short,
but now I'm pretty sure. I've got 2 peaks in my life. There's no way,
slowing,
like, I get another
4 right
one.
tightens, opens 60, turn
If I'm really lucky,
cut,
maybe 2
long
decades, I
six
peak again. Then I know I've lived the good life that I knew I could. You know what I mean? If I actually hit another one of those ever, it's gonna be a good life.
junction.
But yeah, okay, back. We're all the way back to my nephew.
Opens, keep middle of a small crest,
So I'm thinking I've got to cook him something with these caramelized onions because he loves these
left of a
onions.
crest,
Or he loves sweets.
5 right,
And like I said, he loves like garlic bread and some of the more garlicky flavors. So I'm like, okay. So here's what I do. I caramelize the ever-living
40,
layers
6 left
off of
tightens,
these onions.
caution 6 right of a crest past logs,
We're getting pretty
5 left
loggy
of a small
now.
crest tightens, into 3
This is
right,
starting to look like the log
to sudden
map I'm
open
talking,
heavy
but I think the logs are more prevalent
opens
later.
too long, and
Oops. So
4 left tightens,
so I'm thinking I'll do this like
to 3 right,
milk-based sort of
logs,
garlic parmesan
left of
rice,
100, 1 right, very
and
long,
I'll just top it with onions. And like part of the trick, part of the fun of this is like I'm not trying to hide the onions at all. I want him to know there's onions in it, and I want there to be visibly onions. You know what I mean? The biggest part of the challenge is overcoming all of the biases all at the same time. No tricks,
3 right of a crest,
just sheer smooth brain cooking.
3 extra long, don't
All the
cut,
yeet,
logs
you know?
inside, open 6 long,
So anyway,
junction,
I managed to make it more or less how I envisioned. Got it all right.
6 right of a jump, and 6
And
left
the
of a
rice
jump,
is kind of like sticking to each other. I use milk as a base, so it's kind of, like I said, a little bit sticky. So I form it in the plate into a perfect hemisphere.
right,
And then I layer the caramelized onions on top of it.
6 right long,
So again,
tightens
like,
over bump,
not only am I trying to get him to eat onions, I'm trying to get him to eat onions as basically the star, the centerpiece
right of a bump, into shot 4
of
left,
a plate of food.
into 3 right,
And
very long
it
of a
takes some
crest, junction,
coaxing.
and 3
But we had
left
already
of a
agreed.
crest,
So this is part of the game too, right? I'm never gonna force
4 right, opens very
my
long,
nephew to eat anything that I cook
into 6 left of a big
on
crest,
principle,
bump,
right?
and 6 left of a crest,
So
very long, caution,
it was
tightens,
an
3
agreement.
long,
I basically said, if you don't like this, do me a favor. We had already planned it ahead, right? Days in advance. I'm gonna make this tomorrow or 2 days from now when we've got the ingredients.
right of a small crest, 90, 4 left of
And
a
when that
very
happens,
long,
I need you to try it, but that's all I'm asking. You have to take a couple of bites, give it an honest try,
opens to 6 right,
and if it's no
extra,
good,
extra
I'll
long,
make you
tightens,
whatever you want.
in,
You know, I'll take the extra. I'll cook again. I'll take another hour to make you whatever it is. Yeah, this is the narrow section with the logs. That's just absolutely bananas.
80,
Um,
caution, keep left to
But yeah,
crest,
I'll make you whatever you want,
4
man.
right, tightens,
You just gotta try it. So that's the agreement. Or maybe I can't remember. Maybe he gets like more ice cream or something, and I make him some like less time-consuming lunch. Doesn't matter. The point is, he wins either way. He either likes it,
middle of a very long
or he
crest,
gets like
early
something
4
else
left,
that's really baller
60, 4 right long to
that he knows he's gonna like.
60, early
So he takes a couple of bites,
100,
and he's obviously really like skeptical. You can see it written everywhere.
80,
But then he grabs some of the rice. He's like, "Oh, okay, the rice is decent." And then he tries an onion, and he's obviously confused. Like he wants to. He's a child, right? He wants to tell me he doesn't like it, but obviously, obviously he doesn't hate it, right? It's kind of written on his face, so he doesn't know what to do. So I was like, "Hey, man, try eating a little bit of each together, right? You kind of want they're sort of complementary flavors. So take the onions and eat them with the garlicky, the creamy garlicky rice." So he goes for it, and he's like, his eyebrows go up. He goes, "That's actually pretty good." And I was like, "Yeah, man. So what'll it be? Like, I'm glad you tried it. I can make you something else now if you want." And he goes, "No, I'll have this." I was like, "Oh yes, big success, huge, huge, huge success."
30, keep right of a crest, neat, 40.
I was very proud of that moment. And he still, I'm told, he still asks me for it occasionally. He still tells his folks that he doesn't like onions, but that he likes that thing I cooked, and he still asks for it regularly. But it's a time-consuming thing. I haven't really been able to give it to him. But yeah, it was a wholesome memory of mine. I was really happy I got to see my nephews this weekend. Very cool. But yeah, one day I'll have to make him just like a very silly amount of that, just to make sure he's that's the real peanut butters. I agree. The big success. Getting the child to eat a food, but the philosophy, I admit I'm cheating, because it was like, oh, he doesn't like food, and then the real process was like, but what if that food was just candy? He would love it. Turns out, that's actually correct. I don't like onions, beans. Give me the thing with the onions. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Alright, surely we're in the bottom 40% with that drive. I was riffing too much, and I wasn't really hammering down. Okay, top 50 anyway, top 50%. Oh yeah, you can tell. Look at this. Look at this. We're in the top half. We're in the top half. Top 2,000. Let's just go down to 2,000 real quick. Top 2,000, right? Top 2,000 is about the middle of this list. It looks north of the middle of this list. So we're talking like 5,000 total attempts, like as far as Newpie Beach. Peanut butter! Yeah, so top 2,000 is in the top 50%. So we have, what, 5,000 entries here total? It can't be much more than 5 if it exceeds 5. So this is kind of what I'm talking about with these logs. These logs narrow the course, and if you touch them, they, like, you get very punished. You get punished in the way like you just ran into a hill of logs, you know what I mean? So do it again, new PB incoming. Yeah, we'll drive it again for sure. Just so you can see how dicey it looks when you actually go fast and you have to maneuver around these heckin' logs. They're so intimidating. Nerve-wracking.
5,